Hello students, welcome to the today's lecture. Today we are going to take conditional statements in Java. First of the thing is why we are going to use these conditional statements. The best example or the best way of analyzing why we are going to use, they are used for the purpose of decision making. Upon a certain condition to be evaluated as true, we have to take decision that following or some of the statements should get executed, and upon the false the other statements should get executed. And in order to do the same practically or programmatically, Java provides us the conditional statements thus contain, after evaluating the condition, it contains a boolean value whether it is the condition will be true or false, and based on that true or false our statements will get executed. There is certain conditional statement that implementation can be done with the help of the certain statements. The first one is if control statement. Second one is if else control statement. Third one will be if else later, and fourth one will be switch case. All the four are used for decision making. That means upon evaluating a condition is true or false, we are making the decision which kind of the statement we are going to invoke. We are going to take each and every particular subtopic one by one. Let us say first topic, if control statement. If control statement. The if control statement does have a particular condition which can be either expression or a single condition or a comparison or something else, and upon evaluating only the immediate instructions will get executed. That means if we have statements like this, before, if, and after, we have if conditions, and within the block we have again statements, and after the block as well we have again statements. That means we have at the first initial level we have statements, after we have a if condition, and after that we have again statements. When we are going to run this particular program, these statements will get executed regardless of the regardless of the output of the condition, whether this condition is true or false. It doesn't have to do anything with these statements. These statements will get executed. After that, this condition will get evaluated. Whether this condition will have two values, either true or it will have false. If this condition is evaluated as true, then the statements within the block of two braces will get executed. I have written here statements. That means it can be 1, 2, 3, 4 statements and rest n number of statements. And if it is false, then none of the statements in this block gets executed. Once we are out of the block, the statements after the block gets again executed. That means if will have only one portion. That means if condition will be evaluated as true, the statements within the block will get executed. However, second part, if we are removing the braces here, then the statement immediately after the if condition will get only executed if it is true. However, it is better to keep these blocks intact so that there will be no ambiguity. Let us take a practical scenario of this one. The first part, let us make one Java class by the name of conditional statements. Conditional statements. Finish. So we have here conditional statements. Conditional statements. We need to write down the public static void main first. So let us write that public static void main string AR, and within that, now say for example int n equivalent to 10, and we are demonstrating if condition statement, if conditional statement. We say that system.out.println welcome to demonstration of if control statement. This is one of the, and after that we are evaluating condition. If n is less than 50, then system.out.print n is value of n is less than 50. And upon negative, if condition will be evaluated false, we are not going to write anything. After that, we are going to write down a few more statements after the condition is evaluated. So let us run this particular program. Let us see what will be the output. See, the output which we will get is this one. Welcome to demonstration. Obviously n is 10, so value of n is less than 15, and after the condition is evaluated. Now let us reverse this particular condition if n is greater than 50. Now at that time what will happen? If we are going to run this, we will have only two outputs. This one, the first output, this output, because condition will be evaluated as a false, and this output will be skipper, and we are getting this. This means that if condition is used where we need only true statements, we don't need any false statement. Where we don't need any false statement, we are going to use if condition. Hope that if condition is clear with you people. Let's move to the second part. We have second part as if else control statement. The if else control statement is mostly used control statements in the programming language. How it is being used, what are the syntaxes? We have statements before if else. Now if will be their condition, then after we have a block of statements, then we have another part, we call that as else part, and within else part we have again block of statements, and then close, and then after that we have again statements. What does this mean? What does this code mean? This means that the statement before the condition, there might be statement 1, 2, 3, 4, n number of statements, but once the condition is evaluated, it will have, because the evaluation does have only two values, true or false. If the condition is evaluated as true, the true statements, these much of the statements that are being highlighted, the true block is getting executed. While as in that particular scenario, when true the condition will be evaluated, this else part will get skipped, or it's not being evaluated at all, not being executed at all. But when the condition will become false, this particular the true block will not get executed, while as the else block will get executed. That means at a single instance of the time, the condition will have either the true or it will have the false. And based upon the statement, output of the statement, we are exactly executing our statement. If it is evaluated true, these statement will get executed. If it is evaluated false, the else part statement will get executed. That means over a single instance of time, only one block gets executed on that instance of time. That means among the two, only one block will get executed. Is not, it will never be possible that at a time both the blocks will get executed. And after that, if we have another statements, we will get those statements to be executed. Let us run this or let us implement this particular programmatically. Let us make some change in this body. We will see that if we write down else less than or system dot out dot println value of n is greater than. So let us run this first. We have used the same example as we have done in the uh, previous category for if condition. We have used the only we have added is the else part. If we are going to run this program, we will get the same output as it was previously. Welcome to the demonstration of if control statement. Value of n is lesser than 15 and after the condition is evaluated. Now, if I have changed the value of n to 20, at that time only two statements were getting executed, but here all the three statements are getting executed. Now this part will not get executed, while as the else part will get executed, as you have seen here. Value of n is greater than 15. That means among the two, only one single block is getting executed, either the true block or the false block. Let's move to the third that we call as the if else lead. Third if else leader. As most of the times we have seen within the programming language, we are using if else control statement. But there exists a scenario where we have multiple conditions, and among these conditions, we need to execute only one condition. Let's say, for example, let's take the first how what will be the syntax of this particular if else later. We have a statements before the control. We have if part condition condition. We have a block of if part statements. We have else if again statement, sorry, it will be condition. Then again it will have statements. Then again else, if, condition. Then again statements. Then so on. And lastly so on. And at the last we have else part. Statements. And after that we might have any number of statements. How it is being executed, the first statement before the condition will get executed, and after, when we are facing if condition, if the condition, this particular condition will get evaluated, it will have either true or it will have false. These true false value, these true false value depend. That means if it is true value, the statement, these statements will get executed and none of the below statements will get executed. If it is false, then it will not stop here, it will go to this part, second part, the hierarchy line. Second point, it will again check the condition. It will have same again, true or false. That means if condition will become true, then the statements of this block will get executed and none other block will get executed after this. And again, if it will be evaluated as false, it will come to the third block. Again, there will be two outputs, true or false. True, if the condition is true, the statements in this block will get executed. However, if it is false, it will repeat the same scenario. And if none of the particular conditions satisfy it as a true, then it will be obviously false. Then the statements in the false section gets executed. And after we come out of these if condition statements, we are getting statements here. That means statements will get executed. Let us take the example here. Let us remove this particular code and take an example of the grading system. Say int marks, say for example marks equivalent to say 90, comma maximum marks equivalent to 100. We will see, how whether that particular student is passing or failing first. The second part, if it is passing, if the student is passing, by which grade is passing the examination. Say grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. As per our JNK norms that we have, JK Bose norm. So let us say, we will see like this. If marks are greater than or equivalent to, say 30, double AND, that we have seen in the previous lecture, logical AND operator, and marks are less than, say 45, we will evaluate the statement system.out.print pass with grade 3rd. However, if the condition will not, because 90 is greater than 30, it is true, but 90 is not less than 45, it will be false. True and false is always false. So it will not be evaluated in this particular. What we will do else if again if marks are greater or equivalent to 45, because we have mentioned it as less than means less than 45, it will be 45, 44 or something else. It will not be exactly 45. So equal sign 45 comes in this particular category, and marks less than 60. What we are going to use system.out.println pass with grade second. Similarly, if our marks are exactly 90, because they obviously one condition is true, marks is greater or equivalent to 45, but marks are not less than 60. So this condition will not get evaluated. So else if marks are greater or equivalent to 60, greater or equivalent to 60, and marks are less than 75. So what we are going to do, system.out.println pass with grade first. But obviously this criteria doesn't also fall in this. What we are going to else if marks are greater or equivalent to 75 and marks are less than or equivalent to 100, because we have maximum marks as 100. So system dot out dot print pass with distinction, pass with distinction. So if the condition will not fall within these particular areas, so we are going to use system.out.println. So when this particular program we are going to run, it says me that pass with distinction. So we have taken maximum marks as, so if we are writing like this 120, what it will say, this is a mistake, by mistake we have entered, it will always see fail. So what we are going to modify it, if marks is less than or equivalent to 100, then enter within this block, else this is, so let me, else system.out.println input not correct. See, now run file, it will see me input not correct because maximum marks are 100. So let's say for example our marks are 45, yeah, 40. So 40, according to our grading system, it comes within the third grade. So let's see whether it runs perfectly, pass with third grade. So let's see, for example, it is 55. So let's run again. Is a pass with grade 5. So let us say it is 65. So again pass with grade 1. Again 85, pass with distinction. If we are using below 30, say 25, it will see me fail. Now the hope that you understand the if else later quite well, because the condition, only one condition will get executed. Whether this condition will fall in this, the statement of this block will get executed. None in the block up to else will get executed. If the second block will get executed is true and if the statements will get executed, the rest of the blocks after this up to the else will not get executed. And after else, whatever will be the statements, those statements will get executed as well. The last that we are going to see in today's lecture is the switch case. Fourth one is the switch case statement. The switch case statements, as we are going to see it, a switch case statement allows a variable to be tested for equality against a list of values. Each value is called a case and the variable being switched on is checked for the case. The general syntax of your switch case is as follows. It will have switch, then expression, then it will have the block of switch, and within block there exist cases. Case, and it will have value and it will have colon associated with that. After that it will have statements, and after that it will have break. Similarly, the second case, and so on, and at the last it will have default and statements. For example, if the expression evaluates a value which is not matching with any of these values, then the default case will get executed. Let us take the first, before going for uh, a real implementation of our switch case, let us take some rules regarding that. The rules which are to be followed or which are there for switch case statement. The first rule is the variable used in switch statement can only be integer, convertible convertible integers. Convertible integers means convertible integers like character, byte, short, or strings, and equals. That means your variable value should be the variable used should have a value in these particular areas. And second rule is you can have any number of cases or of case statements within switch. There is no restriction about the statements, uh, how many cases there are in the switch, and each case should be followed by a value to be compared and to and a colon, as we have seen in the above syntaxes. The third particular rule that we must follow in implementing switch case is the value for case must be same uh, case must be same data type. The value for the value for case must be the same case must be in the same data type as the variable in the switch, and it must be and it must be a constant or a literal. So this is third rule. The fourth rule that we must be obey is that when a variable being switched on is equal to case, comma, the students or sorry the statements that the statements following that case that case will be executed until break statement. That means if a particular value matches a certain case, the statements within that particular case will get executed unless and until it will have the break. It will get it will encounter the break inside it. If there doesn't, in the fourth or fifth scenario, fifth rule is if there is no break in case, then it will execute the code unless it will encounter the break statement. That means if some case doesn't have break, it will go to the next case after that, and next unless and until this the case will encounter the break statement. So these are some rules which we need to follow within the course of the action. Say let's take one more example related to your switch case. Say switch case. We are going to have switch case example here. Let us see. First we will write down public static void main string. Yeah, yes. Now let's take uh, value. Say value equivalent to something to. And what we are going to use? We are going to use the switch case. Switch value case 1. Case 1 will be system.out.println. We are in case 1. And after that, break. Similarly, case 2. Case 2 will have system.out.println. We are in case 2. And break. Case 3. Case 4. System.out.println. We are in case 3 and 4. So break. And lastly, default. System.out.println. No case, no case selected. So default. So if we are going to run this particular snippet of the code, we will see that uh, we will have case 2 running. But say for example, we are going to write as 4. Still, the case 3, or we are going to write down the 3 here. Still, 3 doesn't have any its own, but after that 4 is get. So it will have the definition of 4 as well. So we are in 3 and 4. And for example, I have written 5. It will show me that no case selected. This is one of the example of your switch case. While this value can be an expression or can be a summation of two values, can be a negation of two values, can have an arithmetic expression. After evaluating whatever will be the value, we need to formulate these cases in accordance with these the data type of these values. And after, for example, if we I have omitted this break, and I have used 1. So according to the situation, it should have like this statement, print we are in case 1, but it will print we are in case 1, we are in case 2, because case 2 does have break statement, and it is not being encountered with the break statement here, while as in case 2 it has been encountered in break statement. If we will again omit this as well, it will still it will be case 1, case 2, case 3 and case 4, and after that it is going to hope we have taken today's lecture. We have taken control statements where we will where we have discussed if control statements, if else conditional statements, if else later, and switch case, and all the particular cases, all the particular subtopics were uh, framed first with the example, and each and every subtopic was deliberated with an example. Hope students you have uh, you will do the practice at your home in order to execute the more and more problems related to this. Thank you very much for joining me.